We are live. Hello. Which camera am I looking in? Hello. Hello. My name is Jared, and this is Does This Work, a comedy podcast. I sit down with comedians at every level. Even though I'm not a professional comedian, I just like talking about comedy. It's fun. Get off my back. My guest today is a South African-born, Perth-based comedian whose sharp wit and clever humour is probably the reason he sold out his Fringe show run. Right?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the South African sun himself, Chris Pucillo.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. How's that black white? Black white. How's that long black?
Oh, it's delicious, mate. Yeah, it really hits the spot. Put a slug of whiskey over the top of it and really perks up the day.
I don't know why it's not. Why it's. Is there a South African version of making a drink Irish?
Yeah, don't think so.
No.
But it's like a lazy Irish coffee. I couldn't be fucked with cream. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everyone off the bat. Chris Pucillo, why comedy?
Why not, dude? That's I don't know. I've just always been like goofy and funny, and using humor to like deflect in troubled situations or to like mask trauma, I guess you might say. So it just came naturally.
Yeah.
And then when I moved over here, I was on a bridging visa, so I couldn't work and I was bored. So I was staying in Geraldton with my wife and child, and there was a whole a bunch of volunteer organizations, and one of them was called the Laugh Emporium, and it was run by a sweet dude named Julian Canny, and he would put on like comedy events in the regions. Like every time they had an agricultural show, they'd get a small art grant and they'd put up a Spiegel tent or whatever, and they'd have plays in there and comedy nights. And I volunteered as a door bitch for him, and we just had great banter. And he was like, "Fuck, dude, you're pretty funny. You should join our little writing group and start doing comedy." So I did. But then we moved away from Gero. So I think I did maybe like 5 or 6 gigs with him, maybe because they were so few and far between. There was no like regular open mic. It was every time they had a show or whatever. And I moved to Busso because I was like working on the NBN. I was a comms technician. And I then moved back to Perth, and I just got really like miserable. And I started going to therapy, and my therapist said, like, what do you do for yourself, And I said, I pay the mortgage, I pick the kid up at school. I was like, what do you mean? I do the stuff. And she's like, no, for your actual soul or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she was like, well, when last were you like happy, or did you have a creative outlet? And then I just remembered that time I did some comedy up in Gero, and the rest was really history. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Well, that side of me is pretty slowly withering and dying. No wonder you're miserable. Join an open mic. And then next thing I knew, it went from like 1 open mic every fortnight to like 5 open mics a week. And then it went to like getting booked, and then here we are.
And where was that, sorry?
Yeah, in Perth.
That was here, cool.
Yeah.
So you never did it in South Africa?
No, man. My dad died in like 2021, I want to say, beginning of. And I went back for the funeral, but because of COVID, like it just killed everything. So I looked around to try and do some comedy there, but no, nothing was happening.
Yeah,
but I probably wasn't in the best headspace.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
But I did do like an open mic right after my dad died, where I just talked about suicide and did suicide jokes because he killed himself. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Right. Sorry to hear that.
Well, not as sorry as I was.
We're getting deep. So then walk me through you decided to do it. You do an open mic night.
Yeah.
Are you sitting down at a computer or at a page and you were just jotting ideas down? How did the first wave of jokes make their appearance?
Well, up in Gero, they actually had a writing group.
Right.
So like you just have a writing group and you had like wacky ideas. But then when I started to gig in Perth, I guess just notebook and pen.
Yeah.
And then I started reading comedy books, which is a big thing. If you start to understand joke structure more than anything, get a bit of structure to your humor. And that's when it started, yeah. Then I would just have a notebook. I've always just been like writing just random nonsense, I guess. Thoughts. Gibberish, you might call it. Yeah. I did English and philosophy and ethics at university, and I fancied myself a kind of like ruffian troubadour poet type person.
Yeah.
So I was always writing poetry, not that it was any good or that it went anywhere. And it was always humorous, So I just started doing that. And then once I read a few books about it, I started to like tweak it. And I guess when you start out, when you like hanging out with your friends, you make them laugh. So you're like, oh, well, I'll tell that on stage. And then sometimes it's like a secondhand anecdote where you really had to be there or you had to have the frame of reference. But sometimes it's not. And it's just funny.
In which case, do you think you can change the story into a more, oh, this happened to me the other day, and then actually alter that?
It's really context dependent.
Yeah, I guess.
Because some of the jokes rely on like the history of the relationship. And some of them are just funny, I reckon.
Yeah.
So, and then again, it's like the more skill you get, the more you can explore these sorts of things, and the better you get at sort of molding them into stage presentable ideas. So
yeah, cool.
That's that story.
And was there a clear intention to begin with that you were going to have a stage persona? This is who I want to be, or did it develop over time when the audience was kind of like responding to more of the topics that you were talking about?
Well, I think that's exactly how you get guided.
Yeah.
But when I first started, I did the thing that everyone does. They imitate their heroes.
Yeah.
And my favorite comics were people like Doug Stanhope, Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah.
So like when I first started, again, there was like no thought to the future. It was just something like vital for my soul, I think, that I had to do. Like it was an expression, an artistic expression. So that's how I started. I didn't have any view to the future, or like I didn't think about myself progressing or what I wanted to do with the art form. I was actually really nervous when I first started. I would just grip the mic stand and shake like a shitting dog, and it was just.
Isn't it great to get that first one done with though? And then I was my last couple of guests that I've had on, we've talked about what keeps you going after that moment, and what is it? Because you could easily go, I'm never doing that again. I was shitting bricks. I was nervous. I was sweating. My heart's beating out of my chest. But then something about that, those endorphins or that rush, I guess, keeps you going. Was that the case for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And again, it was less about the experience and the audience response and more about soothing or getting some sort of outlet, some sort of creative outlet. But I guess I was lucky because when I started with that Geraldton group, we did that writer's workshop, a fortnightly thing. So we were gigging once every sort of 2-3 months, but we would meet every fortnight, and you'd get a chance to hash out material with people. So I wasn't just raw dogging an open mic. I was a little bit prepared. And the guy who was running it, that Julian chap, he still lives up in Gero, I think, but he runs like regional art stuff now, less comedy. Great dude. Shout out to Julian.
Julian.
He knew what was up. He did a bit of comedy, so you had a guiding hand, you know. Yeah. And but yeah, when I first started, I went through all kinds of phases. Like I was just deadpanning like Jeselnik. Yeah. But you are guided by your response. And at the end of the day, like I love Jeselnik and I wanted to be like him, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm not the cool, suave, handsome guy. I'm a goofy, silly.
But I think it's important. At least you have an idea when you get up of like, even if you're imitating to begin with, then the parameters will sort of change of what, and then you come into it a little bit more, and then at least you start with some guidelines of like, because I think when I started, I was doing a Mark Norman impression. Yeah, you know, his cadence, the way he speaks on stage, even the way he speaks in pods, I was kind of just doing that, and then it wasn't very short, brief before I was like, it was very brief before I got rid of that and started doing my own thing.
We've had a couple of Mark Norman impersonations in the Perth comedy scene. We had one dude who was doing Mitch Hedberg. Like just... Yeah. And I don't even think it's conscious, you know? It's just like that's what you like. Yeah. And that's what you think comedy is. Because that's what you watch.
Yeah.
So I'm not like slighting these people, even though they are fucking hacks. I'm just...
Well, I was saying this before we started running that Adam Bloom, shout out Adam Bloom, go watch the first episode of Does This Work, a comedy podcast. He called one of my jokes dog shit, two of my jokes dog shit, because they were hack. All right, on that then, on people in comedy clubs, what is a pet peeve in the Perth comedy scene, in clubs or in the kind of performances that you see or how people are with you? What is a pet peeve?
Gosh, putting me on the spot.
No, I don't know when you throw anyone under the bus or any clubs or bookers under the bus. But if you could be broad.
Okay, yeah. So my pet peeve would be people doing bad material, soliciting advice, getting advice, and then not changing their material and just continuing plowing on with bullshit.
Yeah.
Gig after gig. And I could name and shame, but I won't. You know who you are, you fucks. Like, but there's a bunch of people who I've personally given like notes to.
Yeah.
Not that I'm like big headed about it, but they've been like, hey, can you help me? And I know when someone gives you advice, they're just trying to make you more like them type thing. But I'm like, hey, from my point of view, this is what's wrong with this. And it'll be like simple things like, you know, I'm not commenting on their whole persona. I'm like, this word is the funny bit here. Like, move it there, change it around. And they'll just ignore all of that advice and then just keep doing bad material. And then 4 years later, still doing the same bad 5 minutes. And you're like, God.
I've always thought, like, how do people bomb with the same bit again and again and not tweak?
Dude.
Like you said, is there a funnier word here, or should I swap the order? Can I shorten this down so the punchline?
Yeah.
Like, but you're tweaking it. You know who's good? Again, I showed him out a couple times, but Lockie Skinner is good. You watch him do a bit that will bomb or whatever when he's just written it, but then you see the progression every week where it's changing and it's getting better, and now it's getting a laugh constantly.
Yeah, he's a great dude. Like, he'll bomb, and then next week he'll bomb slightly less, and you'll be like, wow, Lockie.
Yeah. What progression? So, do you have a joke that never worked that you bombed with that you stuck with and became gold?
Loads of them, dude.
Yeah.
But because the thing is that the more sensitive the material, the harder it is to get to work.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this bit now where I'm talking about how I love UFC, but I have to be careful not to get too excited when two black dudes are fighting for my amusement because I'm a white South African. And it's really sucked the air out of a few rooms when I first did it.
Really? That's great.
Dude, people... But now, the last 2 times I've done it, so maybe I've been workshopping it for about a month now, and the last 2 times I've done it, it's like...
It's hitting?
It's almost there. But it's the entry. Because people hear that 2 black guys fighting for my amusement and they just buttholes tighten up, you know? Australia has not really reckoned with their racist past at all. Whereas, like in South Africa, as soon as apartheid ended, we had a thing called the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, where they granted amnesty to people who came and confessed their crimes. And it went a long way to opening up space to discuss race and to reckon with the racial disparities and the racial crimes of the past, you know? So they're a lot more comfortable with the idea of jokes about race. Yeah. Whereas here. It just... buttholes just tighten up immediately.
And then, all right, so your writing style now between how you started. So it's pretty cool to have a writing team. Like, I thought it'd be a good idea to have writing groups here and there. There's a group chat that I started. Some of the other open micers.
Thanks for the invite.
For some of the other open micers. I'll invite you right now. But just to bounce off ideas. Do you have anyone like that you bounce off ideas with now? Or
totally, bro. Yeah. It's comedy is a bit of a team sport. Like, shout out Tabo Chuma. You know Tabo?
Yeah, he's coming tomorrow.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Sick, man. Yeah, so I call him regularly and we shoot the shit and we go over premises and send each other jokes. He's, one of my closest mates in comedy. And I was too lazy / hungover to go to his girlfriend's birthday last night. I'm so sorry, Tabo Chuma and Kat. Fuck that right up. But that's okay. Yeah, him, Tori, David, like we all kind of riff a lot. Who else? I like Ronnie Neville. Him and I have coffee every now and then. I've got some mates over east that I'll call... So it is a real communal thing. It's all
comedians. There's no wife, no loved ones.
No, my wife's sick to death of it. She's like, just don't tell me one more fucking joke,
my wife is great, who's behind the camera right now, so I'll be careful. No, she's like, I just don't think it's funny. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll run it by some comedians and I'll let you know.
My wife's less objective like that, I think. I just make her laugh a lot, so I can't really take it seriously. Like, there's times when I've made her laugh with some bit or whatever that I'm thinking about and then tried it and it's just died on its ass. So she's not objective, which is the problem. Yeah. If I need objectivity, I take it to my 16-year-old daughter and she's like, ugh, disgusting, get away from me. And then I'm like, I just said hello. I haven't even started the bit yet. That's, you know.
I just walked past your bedroom.
I just didn't
the door was closed. I don't even know how you... Well, that's great. And then so when you are trying out the jokes that you've workshopped, how do you feel about like using the audience? So when you do open mics, like, 'cause like in terms of like you see often people just reading straight from a book or from their phone. You obviously don't want the audience to feel like they're being used to just try material out, but like at the same time, you got to get this stuff as fast as possible. And
That's literally the point of open mics.
yeah.
You're all coming there to see a rough thing, which is why you're paying $5 or $10 for it.
If that.
But I had a mate who, like, people have different theories on this, you know. Like, as you get better, you can sort of bomb with style, bomb with elan, you know. You can try out new material and it cannot work and you can be funny around it. And so it's not like you're not destroying a show or whatever, which is a good skill. But a friend of mine used to just take a notebook and he would just read his new ideas and jokes in a bland voice. And he was like, I'm removing everything from it, all the bells and whistles, so that if I get a reaction at this point, I know that it's worth pursuing. And if I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
Which is one way of doing it. But I don't care about using the audience. I just go up there and have fun, really.
Yeah, cool. And have you gotten better with riffing? Do you do much like stage?
It's a work in
work?
progress, man. Yeah. I hosted the lounge this weekend for the first time, and the first couple of shows I was stuffy and uptight. By the final show, I was just zipping and riffing. So it takes real practice, man.
Yeah,
and it takes real like 90% of it is just the confidence to back yourself.
Yeah. And so I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there what is the most recent premise that you've come up with that you're working on? So we can, like, if we have you back
that
on
UFC one, probably
the UFC, yeah,
is a pretty good one. I've come up with this other one where I'm just a stupid cost of living joke where I talk about how I've moved my child from my health insurance to my pet insurance because it's cheaper.
Yeah,
and yeah. And then it goes quiet. Like towards the end of it, I'm like, this Halloween, I'm going to dress her up in a dog suit and drop her off at the vet and then not have to worry about teenage pregnancy. Yeah. So it gets a little dark. It's like a teaser joke. It's all this light-hearted, hey, cost of living. And then it's like, bam. Yeah. Which is nice. Yeah. What else am I working on? I've got this premise which I was trying ages ago, but it wasn't quite working, but I've got it working now. Because that's the thing. Like as your skill level increases, you're able to deal with more and more like dicey premises, which is nice. But this premise of like using vaccines as punishment, like instead, because you can't hit your kids, so you got to get creative. So you delay the vaccines, and then when they do something naughty, you take them to get stabbed with a needle.
Did you get hit as a kid? Yeah. Yeah, so me too. And because you're 37, you said 38? Yeah, so I have this whole thing I was going to talk, and that was going to be my other question, is like, because you talk a bit about your family, do you feel the need to ask for permission or forgiveness?
No, because most of the time it's jokes anyway. Yeah. It's nothing like really real. Like I haven't actually moved my child into my pet insurance. No, that's right.
But
because they wouldn't let me.
Bringing them up in conversation. Like I want to talk about, I really don't care anymore as a 40-year-old man, but I used to get hit as a kid. I'm not talking about like, there was no closed fists involved or anything. It was just, like immigrant parents would just throw whatever they had around at you, thongs, newspapers.
Or you just got a belt, bro. And that was it. My dad was pretty psychological. He would be like, go get the belt and go wait in your room. I'll be there now. And then you would wait for anywhere from like 5 minutes to like an hour. Because just waiting there next to a belt.
Because South Africans have this, for some reason, because we know a few, who will say just now. Like, and the time period is like, I'll be there just now. But I'm like, I don't know.
There's several of them. There's like now, there's now, there's just now. Yeah. And there's another thing with South Africans. We'll be like, when we recommend something, we'll say, you must go and see this movie. And people are like, must I? Fuckhead? Like, what are you doing?
And do you cook? Like, you didn't bring any potjie today?
No, that's fine. We do a lot of braaiing. Yeah. We do a lot of cooking on the fire. Yeah. But other than that, no, we don't have any. My wife makes like milk tarts and traditional South African.
Is she South African?
Yeah, she is.
And did you meet here?
No, high school. Oh, cool. And then we went our separate ways, and then we came back.
High school sweethearts?
Sort of. Yeah.
And then do you ever, like, based on the crowd, because you're trying stuff out in the crowd, and even in spots like the lounge when you're emceeing, do you feel like you have to edit on the fly depending on their response?
Again, it's really context specific. Yeah. I think when you're starting out, you're just trying to get results. Yeah. And you're trying to get booked and you're trying to be bookable. So when you're trying to be bookable, all that matters is your results.
Yeah.
So you've got to just do what it takes to get the crowd on side and laughing. But when I first started, I would think that. I would see someone bombing and then I would be like, this guy should adjust to the crowd. And then a great comedian from Melbourne named Andrew Portelli, shout out. Do you know Portelli?
No.
Anyway, good dude. But he was saying to me, well, his view is the opposite. Like when he sees a comedian stick to his guns and he sees what he's trying to do, despite the audience's reaction, he has like more respect for him. So then I started to really think about it a bit. And so it depends. Like if you're an MC, then your role is to get the crowd on side. You're working. You've got a job to do. But if you're in club comedy, your job is to kill, you know. But if you're trying to do something and work it out, I think, especially for like fringe shows and that, you know, stick to your guns and try and work it out. Like if I had to judge based on the first couple of reactions to that UFC premise, I would never do that material again. I would never do comedy again. I silenced several rooms. I had several horrified audiences staring at me.
Now, how do you combat that? So a room is dead silent. There's crickets. How do you, because I feel like the awkward normal comedian thing to do is like, well, you hated that, or you know, moving
you can
on.
reference it and bomb with a bit of style, which I think is a good thing to do because you don't want to ruin a room completely. But also, I am at the point now. I've been doing comedy for maybe like 6 years, and I know I just back myself. I know what's funny. I know this is funny. Like I have that bit I do about trying to grow pot plants, and then an Australian guy suggests that I grow natives, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can own a native in this accent type thing. And it's like it's the same thing. I know this is funny. I know it's difficult material. It's difficult subject matter, and I just back myself. So like with this UFC thing, I just back myself. I know it's funny.
Do you think people here find accents naturally funny as well, by the way?
So many accents are cheat codes, dude. Have you heard Carl Legacy? It's fucking MILFs in the back row. And he's like, it's a cheat code. He's so, dude, and not to disparage Legacy, he's a fucking hilarious dude brilliant. And a good egg.
But there's Jill, there's
I'm Scottish, how you going? Yeah, but she's funny. She kills. She rips. But yeah, even like Mickey Flanagan, I want to say, the Parky guy. It's like there's some accents that are just fucking hilarious, dude. And,
well, I was wondering if I should play into, because the whole Russell Peters thing where he's an Indian guy who's Canadian and he does a lot of accents. I could do them as well, and I've only just started doing it. Actually...
Are you an Indian dude?
I'm Sri Lankan.
I would never have agreed to this podcast if I knew that. Actually, I've been catfished. These fucking Sri Lankans.
Grab your keys. And,
I'm out. I'm done.
No, but I was like, I've only just started. In fact, fun fact, today is my like 1 year in comedy.
Okay.
So
again, I would never have agreed.
So but I haven't done any accent stuff. Like when I talk about my dad or whatever, usually I don't do an accent, but I'm doing this bit about. Maybe I won't burn it on here. Not that there's 7 people are going to see it.
People are always like that. It's like, the lounge is going to release a clip and my material is going to be burned. I'm like, oh yeah, your 700 followers, you fuckwit.
Well, the joke is my wife is going through like a health phase where she's getting rid of all our... getting rid of things that have chemicals. She threw out my deodorant, and I say, I'm Sri Lankan. You can't throw out a Sri Lankan man's deodorant. Do you know what a Sri Lankan man is without deodorant? An Indian.
Beautiful. I love it. It'll work.
So that's working. That worked as soon as I said it. It's worked every time. And then I even do an extra bit where I'm like, I was going to ask if there are Indians in, but let's keep those hands down. Keep those arms down.
Yeah, totally. Then it'll work.
That works great. And then I follow that up with like this fake story about, sorry to burst your bubble, about how I have a Indian friend, and I allude to the fact that I'm going to say he's approved of that joke, and I'm like, he hates that joke. And then I do then its impression where I'm like, you're a bloody bastard for saying that, bloody bastard for saying that, man. And that gets a laugh.
It will be funny, yeah.
So
there's some people who bemoan accents. Yeah. There's a few little bitches in Perth comedy who
name and shame.
No, I won't do that. But they know who they are. Who whine about people doing accents. But I'm like, accents are so funny.
They're funny,
and they're part of laugh.
Yeah,
it's like as if by not doing the joke or not doing the accent, the person's accent doesn't exist. It's really stupid. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a symptom of your ego that you don't like accents.
Yeah. I feel like we're just so, like you said, people's buttholes just tighten up. You can't even say the word Asian anymore if you're not Asian, and then, because people just go, what is he going to say?
I have a whole, like, maybe 3 or 4 minute bit, a bit now that I'm doing that's new. That's another, like, recent premise about rebranding and about how it's so silly. And, like, even, like, one of the premises I was trying to fly was, like, how we've replaced the word Oriental with Asian. And I'm like, Asian, it's so, like, lame. Oriental is, like, mysterious. Well, dude, if I was from, like, China or Japan, I would fuck off Asian and claim Oriental.
Yeah.
It'll get you way much more white pussy, dude. Come on. Just lean into it, baby. Yeah, I'm like, I'm Oriental, I'm mysterious. I'm like, fuck yeah, you are.
Well, like, if you go look back, I saw some old, like, Australian ads. There was, like, this old Red Rooster ad, and it was, like, they had the like, and it was called the Oriental Special or something. A whole Asian family comes in and buys this Oriental pack from Red Rooster, and I was like, how is this allowed? But but because they'd never do that now, but, like, but we're looking at it with today's level of, like, uptightness that we have on that sort of stuff.
Sure.
What's the worst advice that you received when you started in comedy?
Holy dooly. Don't do accents? No, I don't know. The worst advice, I can't remember, man. There's been so much advice, but I can tell you the best advice.
Yeah, go.
The best advice I ever received was do comedy like Perth doesn't matter, because it doesn't. Yeah. And I was like, what a revelation. I'm like worrying about how this open mic's going to go. And I'm like, oh, this is an open mic in a suburb of Perth, which is a skid mark on the arsehole of the backwater of the world. And it's like, does it matter? Fucking no. Don't be so uptight about it. Don't, like, beat yourself up about it. But that's kind of like I don't know if it's stoic or whatever, but you just treat the good the same as you treat the bad. You treat the victories the same as you treat the defeats. It doesn't define the whole thing. Don't take it personally. Just trust the process. Because that's the thing with comedy, dude. Like, if you just trust the process and you listen to your material when you do a set, you aggregate the laughs, you throw out all the scraps. If you really believe in something, work it 2 or 3 times. If it's still not working, toss it out. And you just grind the process. Do marks. Get as much stage time as possible. 2 years from now, you will just be so much better. And you won't really realize it or feel it or know how. But somehow it just happens. You know?
That's all going to be clipped into a great reel, by the way. That was so motivational.
Yeah. Just trust the process. Yeah. Put your head down. Do the work.
Yeah.
I feel.
You also run your own room.
I sure do, for my sins.
Yes. How has that affected how you operate as a stand-up comedian as well?
It's made me bitter and hate open micers. No, I'm just...
Because you probably
have the gym, baby. You got to make your own gym. Like, when I started the room, couldn't MC. No one would give me a shot to MC. So I just made a room and MC'd it myself. Yeah. And there's a bunch of people doing that. Like, Ant does it at the Windmill.
Lockie does it. Yeah.
Lockie does it at his room. So it's like, and I'll take my hat off to these people. Like, make your own space. Yeah. I've got a place where I can just go every Wednesday. I started hosting every third one. Yeah. Sometimes I host every second one. And I get up every Wednesday and I just do 10 minutes or whatever. So just make your own gym and then go work out in it. And
that's the idea for this, because, I was very aware that I have self-deprecating sort of thing.
Gross, I hate it.
I know, but I'm like...
Actually, you see, when you give someone comedy advice, you're just trying to make them more like you. So if you want to self-deprecate, knock yourself out.
I don't want to be a self-deprecating persona, but I am just self-deprecating by nature. Sure. So like before I started comedy, I was like, no one's going to care if I'm going to do this. When I started acting as well, why would I do this? No one's going to care. And then when I started the podcast, I was like, no one gives a shit about you and what you want to say. So I'm well aware there's probably people out there who are like, especially people that are opening rooms, early in their career, who are like, why are they opening a room early? Like, and then I realized, like, if no one cares, do it anyway.
For sure.
Yeah. So I was like, if I thought no one's going to care about this, like me talking about, I've got the next 3 months of comedians booked, like sometimes a few a week doing this. So hopefully it'll build. But really, I just wanted to create something that I would like. I like hanging out with comedians in green rooms talking. So in a similar way that you're opening your room, I was like, I don't know if I want to open a room because there's so many there, and I would like to just be able to sit down and chat to comedians rather than
Sure.
So that's what this is. Is there a comedian in Perth at the moment that you feel like the people need to keep their eye on? Like he's going to be someone, even open micer or otherwise?
Not really. Well, I don't mean to.
Can we just cut there as well? Because
no, there's comedians I watch. Like if you see Wolfie on stage, like everyone stops and watches Andrew Wolf, because you never know what the hell's going to happen. He's like a lunatic, and but not really. There's people who I like. I started Port City, which is my room, Wednesday, 8:00. Ronnie Knight's, come check it out. With Tyrone King. I don't know if you remember that guy.
I never crossed paths with him, but I have seen his...
Heard him peripherally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has retired from comedy, RIP Tyrone King. So it was... Port City has been a one-man band for a while, but I just recruited Felix Marvo. You know Felix?
Yeah, he's killing
Felix
it.
Mav, great dude. So yeah, I like his comedy.
Yeah.
Also, because he tackles some like... tough premises, and it's like he eats a bit of a dick on it sometimes, but I'm like, just believe in yourself, back yourself and work it and you'll be fine. So I like him a lot. Tate Middleton is another dude who's crushing it up, but he's a Victorian import, so fuck Tate Middleton. And very funny dude. Otherwise my contemporaries like David, Tori, Evan Willie, Tabo, great dudes. Jamie Salt's getting along well. Yeah, we got a good little community in Perth. It's not really cliquey. It's not really competitive. It's kind of like a group effort type thing. Everyone kind of helps everyone, which is nice.
Yeah, and when you go to gigs, like on that, like, do you feel like you're kind of guy to like sharing some jovial sort of hanging out on at the sets, or you do want to get in, you do your set, and you want to get home to the family?
Well, it's context dependent, of course, but it's like now it's again, like it depends what you're trying to get out of it. When you're trying to get a leg up in the scene, or then you hang out. And
that's right.
So when I first started back up in Perth, the windmill was run by a crazy lunatic called Nick Hunter. I don't know if you've ever met that guy. And he was just insane. Like he was so all over the shop. He used to run the windmill.
Yeah.
So then I used to just go to the windmill every Friday. I would get there early, set up the chairs, stay late, pack up everything, help Nick. And then I was getting on like 3 out of 4 windmills. Yeah. Because Nick was also like a crazy disorganized guy. So like he'd put up the list and I'd just take the magic marker and go write my name on the list. Or I had like an email from like 3 months ago where he confirmed a spot. And I'd just be like, Nick, you said I was on tonight. Here's the email. And he wouldn't even look at it. He'd just be like, oh, okay, cool. Just... Yeah. Like, so when you're first starting out and you're grinding for stage time, it's good to be like involved and hustling and helping and all that. But now I kind of feel like not to blow smoke up my own ass, but it's like I'm at a level now where like I add to an open mic rather than detract from it. Yeah. So I do less of that, and also like I'm really busy, so like. If I can get home by like 8:30 and still like watch a couple shows with my wife and just have a cup of tea and hang out, I'll try and do that because I'm out so often. So I do less of the hanging now. So yeah.
Cool. And then, so what's...
In summary.
And then, so what's next for Chris Pucillo? Is it Netflix specials? Is there a goal? Is there a plan? Are you going to take over for Trevor Noah?
Hopefully. Trevor Noah, I don't have his number, but if he does watch this, give me a call. I'd love to.
If Trevor Noah's watching this, I'll eat your ass.
His career has eaten a dick, yeah. Like Tabo has this great joke. I don't know if I'm burning this again, but like to the 7 listeners we have.
If that.
Where he talks about how his girlfriend was annoyed that he found Rihanna super hot. And then he was like, if Rihanna is even considering me, her life would have had to have fucked up so badly. And I think that's so, yeah. But so I'm going to do my Fringe solo show in Brisbane in August, which is going to be sick.
Killer. Selling out that as well.
Well, I don't know. I'm just doing one-off show at Good Chat, and I'm trying to tweak the marketing. Because the marketing seems to be so easy here in Perth, but my ads haven't got the same response in Brisbane. Yeah. You might have to go back to the drawing board. Then I'm going to do it in Geelong in October. at Oasis in September. So I'm just trying to build momentum. Yeah, hopefully next year I'll do Perth, Adelaide, and Melbourne. Try and do Edinburgh. Although Edinburgh is just like a pit of money, really. Edinburgh Comedy Festival. It's kind of become corrupted, you know. So, but it depends on what your goals are, you know.
Yeah.
Like my goal isn't to go to Edinburgh and be noticed by some talent scouts and secure a career. My goal is to go to Edinburgh and do 20 spots a day and just hustle, and meet people. Because my child is in year 10, so my long-term goal is to let her finish school and then try to move over to Europe. Like I have an Italian passport, so ideally Ireland maybe, because it's an English-speaking country and it's close to everywhere. So if I can go to Edinburgh before then and make some contacts and get involved, that'll be ideal.
Make all your drinks Irish over there. And see how we brought it back full circle? That's a callback,
Professional.
And then, so do you want to plug your South African Sun or a South African?
A South African Sun.
South African Sun.
Just general. I'm not important enough to be the South African Sun. Doing that. Good chat. Late August. I can't remember the date because I'm retarded. Maybe the 21st of August. Then I think it's the 31st in Geelong Comedy Festival. The 27th, I think, at Oasis. It's grand final weekend. So if you don't care about footy, come watch some comedy, baby.
Do you care about footy?
No.
I couldn't give it.
I don't.
Shit about footy.
I follow English football. I try to follow UFC. I pay homage to the gods of South African rugby. That's like a kind of a religious, genetic kind of thing. Everyone from South Africa just loves South African rugby. So other than that, I don't have time. So if you, fuck football. Fuck AFL. No Perth teams are getting into the final. Come watch comedy, people.
I love that Chris Pucillo has come on and said Perth is a skid mark.
Well,
no one cares.
I love Perth. It's safe. It's like it's like 200 kilometers of suburb. You know what I mean? It's like,
I know everyone. Like my wife is one that will also say there's like, how far away is this place? It's about 20 minutes. No matter where in Perth, it's always it's about 20 minutes away.
No, but it's like an hour. No, okay. I want to walk this back. Perth is a great place to like be anonymous and raise a family. But if you're like contributing in any way to the culture of humanity, you're not doing it from Perth. I don't think.
No. Yeah, Perth does kind of feel like the place you graduate from. You know, it's like when people leave, it feels like they're graduating to like a bigger.
Perth is like life on easy mode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many jobs around. Yeah. It's so easy to make a living here.
I can hear the 7 unscribers.
Well, there's all the mans. Like, look at all the kit on the streets. People are camping in their Hilux utes and they have their jet skis, and it's just easy. You come here, you can go to the mines with a C-class driver's license and be on like 150k a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like nowhere in the world are knuckle draggers rewarded like that. You know what I mean? If you're digging a hole, normally you are fucked. Can we just say that? Can we just be honest? And I say that as a person who has dug many holes, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities.
One now.
Yeah. I love Perth. Perth is Basil Zemplis is my spirit animal. Just because I love cocaine. No, I'm just playing it.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much, Chris Pucillo. Next time we get you on, next time we get you on, maybe you and Tabo together. Would be awesome.
He's such a babe.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. See you next week, everyone. Don't forget to check out South African Sun. I'm going to put a big thing right on the screen here. Cool. Have a good one. See you next week.
I did take rather a hold on there.